for the exceptional work that they do. I'm going to yield my first round of questioning to my colleague, Senator Fischer, and then we'll go in the regular order here. Senator Hirono will be next.
Thank you, Senator Sullivan, and thank you for your courtesy in letting me go ahead. Welcome, General Reed. During your confirmation hearing, you described how you intended to sharpen TRANSCOM's contribution to the Lethal Joint Force. This includes a ready tanker fleet that is able to support both contingencies around the world and STRATCOM and also NORTHCOM missions that we have here in the homeland. As the B-21 bomber enters service, which will modernize and increase our bomber fleet, we must also ensure that we have an adequate tanker fleet to support this platform and the important missions it will perform. I understand that the Air Force will make the ultimate decision on its tanker acquisition strategy, but I'd like to better understand how TRANSCOM is working with the Air Force to communicate its requirements. Are you expressing your needs to the Air Force on what you need to support a nuclear bomber force so that it remains effective and a credible deterrent globally?
Yes, Senator. Just within the last month, my staff and I took a trip to U.S. STRATCOM, and we sat down with the commander there and his staff to hold warfighter talks. During that time, we described what it is that he's called to do so that we can more efficiently and effectively understand how we need to be there with him. During that same time, we got a really deep understanding in terms of how they plan to employ their new aircraft, and that will drive a slightly different way in which we are to support them, which actually means that it's going to be a little bit higher requirement, specifically in the field transfer. As a result, he and I are both working together to go to the service to explain to them what's required and what's expected in order for us to work together to get that done.
If there's anything we can do on this committee to help you with that endeavor, please let me know.
Yes, Senator. Thank you.
Thank you. General Reed, it is clear that in a great power conflict, the U.S. would be unlikely to achieve the level of air or sea superiority that it achieved in recent wars. This means that ships and aircraft that will be part of any sealift or airlift effort must be prepared to operate in a contested environment, with the assumption that they will be targeted in various ways to prevent material from reaching its destination. I appreciated our discussion on this topic during your confirmation hearing and in our meeting we had in the SCIF last week. Since you've taken command, what steps have you taken to better prepare TRANSCOM to perform strategic lift in a contested environment?
Senator, one of the things that I've done is I've made travels around the world to talk to my peers. I've looked at the world as they see it. I've looked at the threats as they see it. And I've also made sure that our staffs are working closer together in the planning aspect, which is actually carrying over into how we exercise together. So with that being said, we have a much better understanding of what the adversaries are likely to do, how they would fight, what they are most likely to do. And with that being said, we adapt that to the plans, evaluate how that would change the force, look to see what kind of options we have left, and then what we can decide to do from that point on. So it's a very robust way ahead, ma'am.
You know, as you know, our Sealift assets are important to ensuring that our forces and material arrive on time, in enough time to rapidly execute their mission. Unfortunately, over the years, an integral part of our Sealift fleet, the Ready Reserve Force, has suffered from a reduction in capacity and readiness as a result of the aging vessels and the underinvestment. Given this situation, can you provide an update on the recapitalization of the Ready Reserve Fleet and how you're working with MARAD to increase capability and capacity in that regard?
Together, we're working to get ships in any way that we absolutely can. The address last night by the Commander-in-Chief stated that Sealift is absolutely something that we need to do. He intends to make sure that we can return to the seas. So we need to both build it here, and we actually need to buy used.
Could you repeat your last sentence, please?
Yes, ma'am. We need to build new, and we need to buy used.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Fischer. Senator Hirono.